The screens are dead. The internet is dark. The last reliable report you saw confirmed the impossible. Foreign battle tanks rolling down the streets of Seattle. Paratroopers filling the skies over Manhattan. The Pacific Fleet is at the bottom of the ocean. The Atlantic Wall is breached. It feels like the end. They won. That is exactly what they believe. And it is the single greatest catastrophic miscalculation in military history. The moment that first foreign boot touched American soil wasn't their victory day. It was day one of their slow, agonizing execution. Let's be clinically precise about this nightmare scenario. We are assuming a hostile coalition possessing the logistical miracle required to land 5 million combat-ready troops on the continental United States. That is a force larger than the active duty personnel of China, Russia, and India combined. A force that massive will take the coastal cities. They will plant their flags over the ruins of Washington, D.C. They will secure the deep water ports of Los Angeles and New York to feed their war machine. Their fifth-generation fighters will dominate the airspace above the I-95 corridor. On a map, in war rooms thousands of miles away, it looks like total victory. They have decapitated the government. They have seized the economic engines. But America is not a snake you can kill by cutting off the head. It's a hydra. And these 5 million soldiers have just kicked down the door to their own cage. The first enemy they face isn't an American soldier with a rifle. It's the map itself. The sheer, terrifying scale of the North American continent. Invaders from Europe or Asia are used to measuring military advances in hundreds of kilometers. Here, they must deal in thousands of miles. You have secured New York City. Congratulations. Now move an armored division to Chicago. That is 800 miles of hostile interstate through dense Appalachian choke points, where every bridge and overpass is a potential demolition site. You've taken California. Good luck. Crossing the Mojave Desert is crossing a geological furnace that eats logistics convoys alive. And if you make it through that, you face the Rocky Mountains. A 10,000-foot fortress stretching 3,000 miles uninterrupted from north to south. The geography of this continent was designed by nature to swallow armies whole. 5 million men sounds like an ocean of troops, but spread thin across 3 million square miles of the lower 48, that ocean becomes a drop of water on a very hot skillet. But geography is just the terrain. The real killer is the math. History teaches a brutal lesson about counterinsurgency. To maintain even basic stability in a hostile population, not to fight a war, but simply to keep order. Military doctrine requires 20 soldiers for every 1,000 civilians. Do the math on 330 million Americans. That demands nearly 7 million troops just for basic police duty. They only brought 5 million for total war. From day one, they are operating at a catastrophic manpower deficit. They control the dots on the map, the burning cities. They do not control the spaces in between. In those spaces, supply lines stretch thin. They snap. And when they snap, modern armies die. Finally, there is the psychological meat grinder. We are analyzing the stress dynamics of an occupying force surrounded by a population with a history of deep-seated defiance and saturated with small arms. An occupation only succeeds when the occupier feels safe enough to lower their weapon. That will never happen here. The invading soldier has to be lucky every single time they step out of their armored carrier. The resistance only has to get lucky once. We're talking about a 360-degree battlefield where there are no front lines. The psychological weight of knowing that every suburban window, every dense tree line, every alleyway could contain a lethal threat. That weight breaks armies. It erodes morale faster than combat. It's not about winning battles anymore. It's about the inability to ever relax. The occupier becomes the prisoner in their own forward operating base, huddling behind concrete barriers while the continent around them sharpens its knives. This is the cold reality of the invasion fantasy. An invasion of the American mainland is not a conquest. It is the world's largest hostage situation, where the hostage takers are the ones trapped. They will run out of fuel trying to push through the Great Plains. They will run out of ammunition trying to suppress 10,000 mid-sized towns. They will run out of morale fighting a ghost that lives in the geography itself. 5 million soldiers didn't just invade America. They just volunteered for the world's largest graveyard. The war won't end with a spectacular final battle. It ends with a slow, grinding, inevitable silence as the greatest invasion force in history simply dissolves.